Hey guys, Crystal here with Sea Light Candles and Soaps, and we are doing something a little bit different today. I am, if you watched my last couple videos, I showed you some herbs that I got, and I told you a little bit about each one of them. And what I am doing today is I am going to be showing you how to do an herbal infusion. And I do it the crock pot method because I have no patience, and you can do it a number of ways. The main way, or the number one way a lot of people do it, is to fill the herb up. And I'm going to show you how to do everything, but you fill the herb up and then you put the carrier oil in it, and then you set it in a sunny windowsill for 4 to 6 weeks. I do not have that kind of patience. So I use the crock pot method, and I'm going to show you how to use the crock pot method today. What you will need, and hold on, what you will need is any type of herb that you want to use. And today I'm going to be infusing calendula. I'm also going to be infusing rosehip, burdock root, and rosemary. And you will need a carrier oil, and I like to use olive oil, and this is just one. It's the classic olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is better, or organic is better, but they didn't have that, and I got this from Walmart. And this is just leftover from before I bought my big boxes of my carrier oils. I used to get my olive oil at Walmart, and I usually use the extra virgin, but they didn't have it when I was there, and so I just got the classic olive oil. And you can also use grapeseed oil or avocado oil or apricot kernel oil. You can use, or grapeseed oil, I think I said that, but you can use any type of oil that you want. I am just using olive oil because olive oil is really good for your skin, and it's just a really good oil to infuse your herbs with. So we will be using that. So this is a fairly large crock pot. I got it on sale at a secondhand store, and it's brand new, but I only paid $8 for it, guys. And I think the reason why I paid $8 for it is because there's a little dent right here. But this is like a $30 crock pot. You don't need a fancy crock pot, just a it just depends on how many oils you want to infuse, is how big you want your crock pot. You can just infuse one and use a little crock pot. I mean, it's just really a preference. So I can fit 4, as you can see here, into this crock pot. So that's how many I'm going to be infusing today. So the first thing you want to do is fill your mason jars, and I suggest you use mason jars because they have the tight fitting lids. And I was going to infuse these in the bigger jars. These are just the 16-ounce jars, but that's all they had at the store when I went to go get my jars. So I'm just opening the bag here, and the other bags came like this, and it's got a seal on it at the top to where you can seal it back. But for some reason, the calendula didn't come like that. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to set it down, and I don't want to make a mess, so I'm just going to put them in there. And what you want to do is you want to fill it about halfway up. And calendula is really puffy. It's the flower. So, and I like to take my spoon and just mesh it down a little bit. That way I get a good amount in there. And I'm already making a mess. But I hope you can see that. Can you see? Yeah, you can see that. But I'm meshing it down because the other stuff I'm going to be infusing, I think, are all powders. So the calendula is the only one that's actually got some density to it. So you just want to take a spoon and kind of mash it down a little bit. So you want to fill it about halfway full. That looks good, about right there. That looks perfect, actually. I probably need to find a bread clip or a bread tie, not a bread tie, but a potato chip clip to clip this calendula closed. I don't have one, so I'm gonna have to figure something out. So we got it halfway full, and now we're going to add our oil to it. And you're going to need like a dowel or like a chopstick, because when you go to fill up your oil in your jar, it's going to make bubbles, and you're going to have to like poke it around a little bit to get it to go down. So let's go ahead, and you're going to fill your jar all the way to the top. So fill it up a little bit and then kind of poke it around. That way there's no air trapped, and I actually like the smell of the calendula. Okay, so we've got that one filled up. So you're going to put the lid on kind of tight, and I like to shake it up a little bit. So there's one. Let's go ahead and do another one. And the second one I'm going to be doing is rose hip, and this is in a powder. And it's got a tie on it. This is where your spoon comes in handy. I hope you can see this here, but this is just the powder, so I just take it and put it in there. And with the powder, you're going to fill it about a quarter of the way. This is I got a pound of each of my herbs, so this is going to last quite a while. Oops. And maybe one more spoonful. Okay, so that's about a quarter of the way. I made a little bit of a mess, and then you're going to tie it back up. You want to keep it nice and fresh. And you can also, when you make your soap, you can put this straight into the soap as an additive. But I just like to infuse it and use the infused oil. So now that you've got your powder in there, you're going to go ahead and fill it up again to the top. And this is where your little thing comes in handy, because you need to kind of stir it around and to let the oil get down in it. So you're going to stir it.
Another one? Yeah. The other miraculous is on. The other ladybug and cat noir is on right now.
I just like to stir it all together to get it incorporated with the oil.
I want to see. What is that?
This, hold on. This one is, move you guys. Get down. This is rose hip. That's the one I'm doing right now, is rose hip. And I'm just stirring it to get it incorporated, because this is a powder. So just take your dowel, or you can use a spoon, it doesn't really matter, and just stir it. Make sure it's really good and stirred with the oil.
Does it turn out from like this to that?
No, that is calendula petals. This is a powder.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
I forgot the hot
Whoa. These don't need hot glue. And you know what? I need to mark these. So Alyssa, will you go get me a
pen?
No, I need a
Marker.
no. Will you listen?
I'm listening.
I need a label. And they're in there. And I need the little round labels. So before I go any further, I don't want to get these mixed up. So I'm going to get my label and I'm going to label the top of it. So I'm going to go ahead and fill them up, but I'm going to set the things right beside it. I can use those, yeah. The next one I'm going to do is rosemary. Alright, get a pen and write down on the top what those are. And this one is also in a powder form. My daughter is helping me here.
What do I do?
Write down calendula, and it's spelled over there C-A-L-E-N-D-U-L-A, and put that on over here.
Yeah, put that over there.
Alright, where do I stick it to?
Right here. Is that too big? Alright, stick it on the side then. No, that's water's going to be in it. I need the little labels. This won't do. I need my little ones. They're in the computer room. Sorry, guys. We're trying to label these before I go any further, really. This is the rosemary powder. And again, we're going to fill it about 1/4 of the way full. And I'm trying not to make a mess.
That smells stinky.
Does it smell stinky?
Yeah.
But it's good for you.
But it smells sticky.
My daughter said it smells stinky. Alright, that's about good. That's about 1/4 inch up.
I don't want to do that. It makes me stink.
Are they the 2-inch round?
The little ones.
Yeah, those are it. So on the first one, write calendula. Put that one on that. There we go.
Now what?
And then this one over here is rose hip. Alright guys, we got the powder in there.
Which one is this called?
This one's rosemary. The one we're doing right now is rosemary. So let's get the oil in there. And it's not going to sink, so you're going to need to use your dowel again and kind of stir. It's going to be like a paste. That's why you don't need much if you're using the powder. You only need about 1/4 of the way. If I was using the actual flour or the root or anything, I would fill it about 3/4 of the way. But I went ahead and got the powder. Is that the rosemary? Is that what we're doing right now?
Yeah.
First we did rose hip, and that one's in there. Let's put that in there. And you want to fill it to the top. And I'm just going to give it a good stir again.
You missed on one side right here. It's so shiny.
Yeah,
You still miss some.
That's okay, I'm going to shake it.
Okay.
I like, after I use the dowel, I kind of like to shake it. So I'm going to shake this one too.
I'll shake this one for you.
So we've got rose hip, we've got calendula, we've got rosemary, and the last one I believe is the burdock root, if I'm not mistaken.
What is it?
Yeah, it's the burdock root.
Oh,
It's called
that.
B-U-R-D-O-C-K root. So let's put that one in there. And the next one we're going to do is this burdock. And she's going to put the name on it. So I'm going to take it out of its package. This is also a powder.
There you go.
And I got this one in the powder form because this is a root and it's really hard. And I'm using these for soap, guys, so I don't need anything that's going to be hard. Because even though I'm making an herbal infusion right now, I can still use these and put it straight into my soap as an additive. So we're going to fill this one about 1/4 of the way as well.
Can I fix some corn dogs, Mama?
I don't care. It's almost there. Maybe 1 or 2 more spoonfuls. I perfect. There's little lines,
Bring one for you.
and I've been trying to fill them up to like the second line. Here, there's little lines right there. So I'm trying to fill it up to the second one.
Mama, there's only 2 left, so one for me, one for her. Okay, one for me,
Alright,
one for
that's
you.
good. That's about 1/4 of the way.
Okay.
And we're gonna get the air out of this and put it back.
Okay.
And you guys, this pound that I got, they're each a pound. And I only paid like $4 or $5. Hey! I only paid like $4 or $5 each for each one of these. And they will last a really good while. So there's that one. So we're going to get the oil and we're going to fill this one up as well. And get it about halfway there. And then get your dowel and stir it. Let the oil incorporate with the powder.
It looks pretty. Yeah, actually, it looks shiny. Me and Ladle was gonna have to make corn dogs and put those on.
Okay.
There's only.
And this was going to feel like a thick paste, but it's going to be fine once you get the rest of the oil in there. And as it steeps in the water, it'll also be good, be fine. And another thing about that I like about infusing with powder is it's less cleanup after you infuse it. I mean, I still strain it, but it's really not that much there to strain. So, alright, that looks good. So let's get the lid on this one. And in these little 16-ounce jars, I've probably used over half of the bottle of olive oil. So I'm going to shake it real good. Make sure the lid's on it.
You did.
And there's some stuck on the side over here. So I'm going to get it back out.
Quit calling me a little sneaker.
Let's go sneaker.
Alright, shake it again. Alright, we're going to put it in here. And like I said, my crock pot only can hold 4 of them. So let me clean up my mess here. I made a little bit of a mess. Put my lid back on my olive oil. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fill our crock pot up. But first I want to make sure these lids are on really good and tight. I mean, make sure they're on real tight. Okay. Alright guys, I'm going to start filling up my crock pot with water, and I'm going to fill it up until there's about an inch left onto the jar. You don't want to fill it all the way up because you don't want, even though we put our lids on tight, we don't want to, oops, I got water on there. We don't want to get water inside of the jars. So there we go, that looks about good. And you're going to need to replenish this water every now and then. And the jars is going to make it to where you can't put the lid on it. So it's going to need replenishing. But I'm going to go ahead and plug my crock pot in. Hopefully you guys can still see that. Yeah. And then I'm going to put it on low. And I'm going to let it steep all day and all night. It needs to steep for at least a day and a half. And it's already noon here where I am, so I'm going to let it steep in the water on low all day for the rest of the day, and then all night. And then when I get up in the morning, I will do part 2 of this video, and I'll show you straining the herbs and getting it all out and putting them up. And I'll have to relabel this one, but put a date on them. And I like to add vitamin E, just a little bit of vitamin E in each of my jars, because it acts kind of like a preservative. So you're going to need to put, I like to put some type of preservative in them, even though there's no water, it's just oil. I just feel safer putting something in there to where because the oils can go rancid, and that's not what you want. So, I mean, the herbal infusions are going to be good, but I just like to put a little bit of vitamin E just in case. So I'm going to let this sit like this with the water. Like I said, I'm going to keep replenishing the water. I'm going to check on it every couple of hours and put more water in it as it's needed and just let it do its thing. So we will come back tomorrow when it's time to strain them and get them out. Alright guys, until tomorrow. Bye-bye.